Good morning, guys. 11:58 a.m. here on the East Coast, April 8th, 2017. So today's vlog is going to be on taking chances. I do believe that in order to be successful, in order to, chase your dreams, you have to take chances at times. And that may be leaving a new job, going to a new place, starting on a new adventure. Obviously, change can be a little scary for everybody, but taking that chance and trying to make that change is what brings success, in my opinion. Um, you have to take chances in everything you do, whether you realize it or not. Those chances are being taken all the time, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. Those are all chance times in order to set the priorities and your day in motion. Um, the other thing is, if you notice something, I found a correlation here as I was thinking about this vlog and putting it together. Um, but some people have been involved in making choices whenever it comes to having like a 401k. That's kind of where I learned a little bit about risk and reward, and then studying some math at the collegiate level and in high school. They taught me a little bit about this. But I noticed it a little bit more real world application whenever I was picking up 401k when I was working for this business before, as a part of a retirement plan that they rolled everybody into. So as you enroll in this 401k, you have different stock options that you can pick, and a majority of people are risk adverse, which means they don't like taking risk, and they'll choose moderate stocks that aren't risk worthy, because if you are a risk loving person, you tend to go with the high risk stocks, which have a higher yield. Obviously, the more moderate stocks don't have that high of a yield, but if you take the risk, sometimes it pays off in that 401k setting. And I found it very real world applicable whenever you do take the risk of doing something courageous or something outside of your lane. So back to that 401k, I remember when I was choosing it, I went, you had to pick, you could pick one stock option, or you could spread all your stock options around the 5, ranging from risk adverse to high risk. So I remember I chose to spread it throughout the 5 different stock options. And I don't remember how quite they performed. I didn't. It's not something that sticks with me. But it was a good, for me, real world application when it came to taking chances and taking those risks, and messing with things that could deal with your future, like money. Obviously, you want your money to do the best that it can whenever you put it into those types of portfolios and settings. You want it to gain as much as possible, but sometimes you have to take those risks and take the chance to go into a stock that has a higher risk. It has a chance of losing money, but a great chance of gaining money as well. And really depends on your type of personality, whether you're optimistic, pessimistic. It really depends. But I know majority of people are risk adverse. They'd rather go with a safe choice and live life on the safe side rather than take the chance and without knowing the outcome. They'd rather go with the safe outcome. But I'm telling you today that taking chances has gotten me to where I'm at today, and taking those risks has sometimes paid off for me. And I could say that if I were to give guidance and mentor today's youth, that you have to take some risk and some chances sometimes. And I'm not talking about like living life on the edge and doing things that like, I'm talking about like smart risk and smart chance, like maybe taking a study abroad course within your university to really get you outside of your setting and learn get some international experience when it comes to your degree. I think that is most universities are doing this now, but not many students are taking advantage of it for one reason or another. And I think a majority of it ties back to not taking that chance. There's probably some monetary withholds, but I'm sure At least in my university, they have ways around that to where you can apply for scholarships just for that particular travel abroad, segment that you're going to participate in. And the school or university has scholarships or programs built in to help students who are can't financially afford it. So if you truly want to go, the people who want to go make it happen, and the people who aren't into taking chances and are more risk adverse, they end up not going, and they don't know exactly what they missed out on. And that's the other huge thing here is you don't know what you're missing out on. You just know with the choice you went with, and you think it was the right choice at that time. Excuse me, I think I have to sneeze. Excuse me. So, tying it all back together. Give me a second here. Sneeze through my brain for a loop here. But tying it all back together, you definitely have to take some certain risk in your life and take some certain chances in order to really maximize life's potential. And that's the best way I can put it, is that if you don't take those things, you don't necessarily know what you missed out on. But I mean, to truly find out, find somebody who did take the chance, who did take the risk, and see if it paid off for them. I know that a lot of people, like I said, are risk adverse and don't like to take that chance. But what about the people that do? Do they end up being more successful? That's for you guys to determine on your own. And if you find out that it is being more successful, then take some chances when it comes to certain things. Don't be hesitant. I mean, yeah, time may be wasted if it wasn't, but to me, there's a silver lining to everything you do in life, and you have to find that silver lining, even if it's a negative experience. You know that maybe if the travel abroad, just to put that into perspective, was a bad experience for you, at least you have international experience now, and you studied internationally in a country outside of your own. And to me, that's a huge silver lining, and it's a distinguishing factor whenever you're applying for jobs. Now you have some international experience, and you just set yourself apart from your competitors applying for the same job. Especially in today's market when job application processes are so fierce because everybody's much more educated nowadays, and the population is still growing exponentially. So with those things in mind, sometimes you have to figure out how to separate yourself, and taking chances is a way to separate yourself. Smart, educated chances. Like I said before, I'm not talking about like bungee jumping or skydiving. If you want to live on that type of edge and do those type of high risk activities, then have at it. But those things, they may impact your future for being more open to taking risk and doing that type of stuff. But I remember in my military career, I was very risk adverse when I joined. I wanted to, and I think I touched on this before, but join in finance because I wanted to just be in a cubicle, be left alone, and do financial work for the military. That's kind of the idea I had set forth. And as I started to progress through the military and move throughout my different ranks, different duty stations, get deployed, it was during deployment that I was really met with taking chance and risk. And I liked it. I really did like it. And it was a somewhat controlled, somewhat uncontrolled environment. And I liked the not knowing. To me, I can relate it like a repetitive job that you do over and over again. People tend to get tired of that. When you go into the job and you do the same thing over and over again, you can basically predict what you're going to be doing tomorrow, let's say, in your job, if it's the same thing over and over again. Sometimes you have jobs with a little different style. You don't know quite what you're going to get. But if you can predict your job and you're okay with that, then that's fine. But taking chances sometimes for me, when I thought I wanted a predictable job and then I got put into an austere environment deployment that I was trying to avoid at all costs. And my 1-year anniversary was actually boots on ground in Iraq. And when I got there, I didn't know what to expect, but I started to roll with the punches, took a lot of chances, took a lot of risk. More than I should have been taking, but I don't regret any of the risks that I took, and don't regret anything that happened. I think it shaped me into the person that I am today, and I am proud of that person. And I'm proud of the chances I took. Even joining the military was a chance that I didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew that I changed my focus in the way I looked at it. I went from a person who left ROTC in high school. I just dropped out of the program because I said the military would never be for me, to doing 8 years in the military and getting out as staff sergeant. So things always change. I took a chance, even though my beliefs weren't necessarily there for the military at that point in time. I just saw it didn't make sense, and if I didn't take that chance, I would have never gained all the experience that I did in the 8 years that I was in the military. And now I can share that experience with people, and but it all started with a choice to take a chance and try to go after the unknown there. Even though I tried to play it safe and join a safe job, eventually I changed jobs and did intelligence for some time as well. But while I deployed as finance, I was still very highly active and still took a lot of risk and chances that you wouldn't necessarily think that a financial technician would take. So that'll be it for today. I'm still at 59. For some reason, this hump of 59 subscribers has been somewhat of a hump to get across, but I'm going to continue pushing on. I still have a goal of 75 to reach by the end of this month, and I do believe I can do that. So I appreciate you guys watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and everything alike, and I will see you guys on the next one.